use the facilities, talk to the firefighters, and that's really what it was designed for in the first place.
Can you describe what's happening in the fire and rescue service today?
There's lots of change going on up and down the fire and rescue service nationally. Bedfordshire and Luton are no different, and that's why I think it's important that we explain out some of the things that are going on locally here and that the community and the public are aware of them.
You seem to be putting a lot of effort into consulting the public. Why are you doing this?
We are putting a lot of effort in. We've found in recent years that the public don't actually know everything that we're doing. So we want to educate the public to start off with of all of the things that we get up to, the wide range of services that we provide, and then we can ask them some meaningful questions and get some responses. We don't know what things that the public need, so we need to ask them, what do old people need from us, what do young people need from us? We've got a very diverse community out there, and it's changing all the time, so we've continually got to ask the questions. We try in different ways, better ways than we've tried in the past. Normal surveys and leaflets come through your door, but we're bringing members of the public in. We're asking them to really challenge us on preconceived ideas. Is there anything different that we want to do for the public of Bedfordshire and Luton, or the people that are travelling through there? Our agenda is to keep people safe, and the environment's changing all the time. We want to help and protect the community.
How well does the fire and rescue service react to emergency calls from the public?
This is our core business. It's important that we actually get to people when they're most at need as quickly as possible. We used to have some old standards that were adopted really from 10, 20 years ago and beyond. We found that we needed to relook at that, and we looked to say, where are people most at risk? And we find that people are injured or sometimes die in house fires. So what we've done is we've refocused our standards to look at getting fire engines to house fires across the county of Bedfordshire and Luton as quickly as possible. And on most occasions we're talking within 5 or 10 minutes, because that's where we feel as though we can make a real difference. One of the things that's difficult for the public to understand, and in fact some of our staff, is the movement from the old standards that were primarily about buildings in town centres over to house fires anywhere in a community. The buildings in town centres now have better fire safety arrangements, better building construction, better means of getting out. In general, we engineer fire safety into the design at the first stage. Although we still respond into town centres, we still respond to businesses, and again it's usually within 10 minutes. But we really did want to focus on where people are losing their lives, and here in Bedfordshire and Luton we think that's really important.
The public perception is that you're doing a good job, and yet you seem to be undertaking a lot of reviews. Why is that?
I'm pleased that the public think we are doing a good job, and I would certainly say we are, and we try our very best to save life and protect property all the time. But it's important in leading a modern fire and rescue service that we continually look at what changes around us. Traffic systems change, the equipment that we need to fight fires changes, building design change, in fact people change and their needs change. So we've continually got to look at things. But I would like to emphasise it's about looking at things for the right reasons. It's not about change for change's sake. And once we've looked at something, we can actually be quite comfortable with it and then move on and not do any significant changes. And you're right, the public do think we're doing a good service and providing a good service. Many areas we are, but there's always ways we can improve. And we're a fire service in a local community, and we've got a leadership role in that community, and we want to strive for excellence all of the time, and that's why we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror as much as we can.
We hear a lot about community safety activities. What does that actually mean?
There's 3 broad areas under that general umbrella, community safety. The first one is the area that people would see as normally operating. Fire engines, attending different sorts of incidents, whether it be cutting people out of cars in road traffic accidents, dealing with a horse that's stuck in a ditch, or putting fires out and things like that. That's where the public see us all the time. However, we do a lot more things. The education part is the second part. That's where we educate children in schools about fire safety. We go out and we now have a great big programme of fitting smoke alarms into houses that haven't got them, or perhaps can't afford them. We fit free smoke alarms and do home fire safety checks to keep you safe, so that if unfortunately you do have a fire, the public can get out. You can get out of your homes. We also have various demonstration units, and one that I can think of is we demonstrate chip pan fires and what to do, because we find that when we look at all of our statistics, chip pan fires are a big cause of fires in the home where people are injured or lose their life. The third part of this umbrella of community safety is where we go out and enforce fire safety regulations. We inspect in buildings to make sure that the occupier of buildings are keeping people safe who come in from the public. That might be checking that the means of escape is okay. It might be checking that we've got fire extinguishers that are fully charged and in the right place. Alarm systems are working, detector systems are working, and the general running of the building is up to standard. And we go out proactively and checking on that. Those are the three main areas that we're talking about when we are talking about community safety in Bedfordshire and Luton.
What would you say are your challenges going forward?
I think the challenges for us here in Bedfordshire and Luton are to get out into our communities, get involved with our communities and understand what their needs are, because it is very diverse here. We have rural communities, urban towns, different cultural mixes, and it's not so much about us reaching to the what's being called hard to reach groups, but what about turning that round the other way and asking ourselves, are we a hard to reach service? So that's what's important to us, to try and deliver all of the services that we do, but to reflect the society as well. And another part of it is making sure that we recruit people from different backgrounds and different societies, because we think a lot about what's the right thing to do, and we need people from those societies and from those organisations and from those communities to actually be part of our thought process, so we actually give people and the public the best deal.
Do you think the fire and rescue service gives the taxpayer value for money?
Let me answer it this way. What organisation can respond onto your doorstep at 3 o'clock on a winter's morning when there's a foot of snow? And we can respond with highly trained firefighters. Not only will they come put your fire out, they'll also risk their lives to save your life. The following day, they might be dealing with a farmer's horse that's in a ditch. The day after that, they might be dealing with an unknown chemical that's fallen off the back of a wagon on a motorway. They educate your children in schools. They fit smoke alarms in elderly people's homes, or in fact many people's homes. And also go out and enforce fire safety legislation in buildings and make sure they're safe when the public enters there. What sort of organisation has that level of service, can respond in 5 or 10 minutes and actually costs 22 pence a day? You can't even buy a small apple for 22 pence a day.
The brand new fire station at Dunstable, great excitement there. You must be very proud of that and when that was opened.
We are, yeah. And what's really useful and great is the community responded really well. We've got about 26 different agencies in different parts of the community that want to